In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to upgrade your vocabulary so you can express yourself like a native English speaker. But we're not just memorizing lists. I'll show you how to use each word naturally in real sentences so they actually stick and become part of your daily English. Welcome to Airlearn English, where we make learning and mastering English simple, fun, and unforgettable. If you want to further improve your pronunciation and vocabulary, I highly recommend exploring the Airlearn app. It presents you with real situations where you have to choose the right word to complete sentences. You'd be amazed at how much more fluent you sound when you expand your vocabulary. Shall we begin with the lesson? Or rather, shall we commence with the lesson? In this lesson, we're going to cover 20 adjectives for emotions, 20 adjectives to describe people, 40 idioms that native speakers in the US use regularly, and 20 common phrasal verbs. First, I'll give you 40 adjectives which are commonly used in everyday English but may not be familiar to you yet. So starting with 20 adjectives for emotions. Instead of saying scared, I'm scared of the dark, we can express ourselves with these 4 alternatives which are a bit stronger. First is horrified. Horrified implies an element of shock as well. They were horrified at the news of the killings. We witnessed a horrifying incident. As these examples demonstrate, when the situation is so extreme as to be unexpected, we can use horrified. Next is frightened. Frightened. This implies a sense of worry. I'm frightened that George may get hurt if he keeps doing this dangerous job. The child gets frightened when the neighbor's dog barks. Fearful. Fearful implies a persistent state of worry and can also be used as a personality descriptor. She was fearful of driving at night. He is a fearful person, always expecting the worst. The last synonym for scared is terrified. Terrified may be the strongest adjective out of all of these. It's an extremely intense emotion, often accompanied by panic. So it's used to describe one of the scariest things that you may have felt or experienced. Being trapped in that burning building was terrifying. When our car almost crashed, I was terrified. Now, before we proceed, feel free to practice using each of these words, horrified, frightened, fearful, and terrified, in a sentence. You can even write your sentences in the comments and I'll let you know if you use them correctly. Now, talking about all these synonyms for scared has made me feel a little sad. No, we can use better words than sad to describe how we're feeling. Instead of sad, we can say upset. Upset often refers to a disturbed or agitated emotional state, and it usually includes an element of anger. She was so upset with him, she ignored him for 2 weeks. Next is miserable. Miserable is a deeper, far more intense form of unhappiness, often lasting a long time. He felt miserable after his divorce. Next is disheartened. One may feel disheartened after a specific disappointment or failure, implying a loss of confidence and hope. Maria was disheartened after being rejected from all her top colleges. And the last synonym for sad is melancholy. Melancholy refers to a feeling of deep sadness, but it's more of a reflective feeling tied to loss or longing. Peter had been feeling melancholy ever since moving from Ireland and ending his 4-year relationship. That's it for sad. What's the opposite of sad? You know that one, happy. But did you know we can say these 4 words instead? Instead of happy, we might say pleased. Whereas happiness describes more of a general state of positive emotion, pleased refers to a feeling of pleasure or satisfaction from something specific. Mom was pleased when she heard about my grades. Delighted. To be delighted is to be extremely happy. I'm absolutely delighted that you decided to visit. Next we have ecstatic. Ecstatic is a more intense, overwhelming feeling of happiness or joy. Susan was ecstatic after the birth of her daughter. And the last synonym for happy is elated. Elated is a state of extreme happiness and excitement, similar to ecstatic. It comes from a significant event or achievement. She was elated at the news of her scholarship and rushed to call her parents. Now, we all know the word annoyed. It suggests a slight, immediate irritation or bother. And it can often be used playfully, like when a sister says to her brother, "Why are you annoying me?" Well, these next 4 words are used when annoyance escalates. The first one is displeased. Displeased is a more intense form of annoyance, especially coming from a formal or judgmental place. His bosses were very displeased with his performance this past quarter. Next is exasperated. Exasperated is being annoyed to a severe degree, often because there's no solution to a problem. It implies impatience and frustration. After the class asked the same question for the 5th time, their teacher was clearly exasperated. Next, we have aggravated. Aggravated is again a higher level of annoyance where anger is present. I get aggravated by the constant noise of horns honking. And the last synonym for annoyed is bothered. Bothered is a less intense word for annoyed, but it can also imply a sense of worry or concern. So if I say, stop annoying me, or stop bothering me, annoy is more intense. The way he spoke to me earlier is still bothering me. So in this sentence, bother suggests that I'm still thinking about that situation. Now let's cover 20 useful adjectives to describe someone's personality. Studies actually show that it's easier to remember new vocabulary when you also learn the word that is its opposite. So for the following words, I will tell you a positive adjective and then the negative, which is its antonym. First is tolerant. To be tolerant means to be willing to accept something, beliefs, or behaviors that you don't agree with. It comes from the word tolerate and is largely a good trait to have, indicating open-mindedness. Tony was tolerant of all his coworkers' different quirks and never argued with them. Intolerant. Intolerant is just the opposite, being unwilling to tolerate ideas, beliefs, or behaviors different from your own. Nate is an intolerant person who can't even listen to people who have different political beliefs. Reliable. If someone's reliable, then they can be trusted. They're dependable and do what they say they'll do. I'm certain she's a reliable source. We can quote her for our article. Dan is a reliable employee. He deserves a raise. Unreliable. Someone who's unreliable can't be trusted or depended on. Whatever you do, try not to be unreliable. Steve never shows up when he says he will. He's completely unreliable. Decisive. If someone is decisive, they make decisions easily and don't stress over them. Tina is decisive. She knows what she wants and goes for it. Indecisive. This is just the opposite. It means not being able to make decisions easily. The president is indecisive. He hasn't responded to any proposal for the debt crisis. Even when it comes to choosing an ice cream flavor, Tiffany is very indecisive. Who else here can relate to that? Next is outgoing. Someone who is outgoing is friendly, enjoys talking, and meeting new people. Basically, they're considered an extrovert. Tim is outgoing. He has no trouble meeting new people and is always hanging out with friends. Reserved. Reserved is used to describe someone who tends to be quiet and doesn't express themselves openly. Most likely, someone who is reserved is an introvert. My father is a very reserved man. He doesn't say much and keeps to himself. Confident. To be confident is to have a strong belief in oneself and one's abilities. Despite being bullied for years, Kelly remained confident and self-assured. We all know people like this, and it's a positive trait that everyone wants to have. Insecure. If you're insecure, you're not confident about yourself or your relationships. In other words, you lack self-belief and are unsure of yourself. He felt insecure about his looks. She felt insecure in her relationship and worried that her boyfriend would cheat on her. Next we have adventurous. To be adventurous means to enjoy trying new things and seek out new experiences, even if they're risky. She's always eating the same things. She's not adventurous in her eating habits. Ryan is quite adventurous. He often takes long trips on his motorcycle without any plan or fear. Cautious. Now, someone who's cautious might not like adventures. They are careful and avoid potential risks. He is a very cautious driver. She's a cautious traveler and always double-checks her bags before leaving. Next is compassionate. Compassionate is a wonderful trait to have. It describes someone who feels and shows sympathy for the suffering of others and wants to help them. They were kind and compassionate when I was facing a difficult time. Heartless. Heartless is a really negative word and describes someone who lacks compassion and sympathy for others, and is basically cruel or unkind. The boss seemed to enjoy firing his needy employees. He was very heartless. Cheerful. Cheerful is used to describe someone who is noticeably happy and expresses their positivity. their happiness is likely to make you feel happy as well. How is she so cheerful even after teaching English all day? Gloomy. Gloomy is used for someone who's unhappy and generally negative. Unlike cheerful, their unhappiness is likely to make you feel unhappy as well. Harry's gloomy demeanor made it difficult for him to make friends. Easygoing. Easygoing is a word used to describe someone who's relaxed and not easily worried or annoyed. Someone who's easygoing is often easy to be around. My brother is very easygoing. He just goes along with most things and doesn't complain. Uptight. If someone's uptight, they're worried or nervous and not able to relax. They may be easily upset by things that don't typically upset other people. Sheila is very uptight. She's always worrying about small things and rarely smiles. Modest. Modest is used to describe somebody who doesn't talk about their abilities or good qualities. In other words, they're humble. My son is so modest. He got the highest score on the exam but didn't tell anybody about it. Arrogant. If someone is arrogant, they believe that they're more important and better than others. He had not won a tennis game in months, but still he acted arrogant about his abilities. Native English speakers, especially Americans, use idioms quite often, so learning and using these 40 common idioms and phrases will make you sound more fluent. Let's begin. Once in a blue moon. This means rarely. An opportunity like this comes once in a blue moon. To wrap your head around something. This means to understand something complicated. I'm struggling to wrap my head around this. She couldn't wrap her head around the company's sudden decision to fire her. Call it a day. This means to stop working on something because you've had enough or want to be done. I think I'm going to call it a day and head home. To make matters worse. Simply means to make a problem worse. The CEO didn't like our proposal, and to make matters worse, he pushed the deadline forward 3 days. That would definitely make matters worse. Pull someone's leg. This means to joke with someone. So you may ask me, are you pulling my leg? If you think I'm joking with you. Or after joking with someone, I might say, relax, I'm just pulling your leg. To go overboard. This means to go too far or become overly enthusiastic about something. I think Gary went a little overboard planning this party. He even rented a pony. Get out of hand. This means for things to get out of control. He thought it would be a chill party, but eventually things got out of hand and the cops were called. The ball is in your court. This means it's your turn to make a decision, not in a sport, but in life. She's given you her offer. Now the ball is in your court. Sat on the fence. To sit on the fence is to be undecided. The brand is still sitting on the fence about our partnership. We'll have to wait to see what they decide. This next one is very commonly used. To make a long story short. It's just to tell something briefly. To make a long story short, we had a huge fight and now we're not friends. See eye to eye. This means to agree and share the same viewpoint on a particular matter. It's usually used in a negative manner, as in two people aren't seeing eye to eye. My parents and I don't always see eye to eye. They want me to study engineering and I want to study politics. Next is a piece of cake. This just means easy. You've probably heard this before. I thought learning English would be a piece of cake, but boy was I wrong. Next is to cut corners. Now, that's not to literally cut anything. It just means saving money by finding a cheaper, poor quality way of doing it. The company cuts corners by using cheaper material, so their products are of lesser quality. The next commonly used idiom is add insult to injury. This is used when a bad situation is made even worse. She didn't get the promotion, and to add insult to injury, she has to shift to a smaller office. Next we have spill the beans. It means to reveal a secret. Don't spill the beans about my retirement. I want to be the one to tell everyone. Bite the bullet. This means to do something difficult or unpleasant because it's necessary. It may be time for me to bite the bullet and get eye surgery. In the same boat means to be in the same difficult circumstances as others, having a similar or shared challenging experience. There are so many people in the same boat as you. You're not alone. Ring a bell. It's used when a name, place, or information sounds familiar. That name rings a bell, but I don't know if I've met her before. Costs an arm and a leg. This is a fun one. It means that something is very expensive or costly. My college education cost me an arm and a leg. Under the weather. Another idiom you've likely heard before. To be under the weather means to feel sick or unwell. I may have to cancel the meeting. I'm feeling under the weather. To let someone off the hook. It means to not hold someone responsible for something. The teacher let him off the hook since it was his first mistake. Take a rain check. It simply means to postpone a plan. So instead of telling you I have to cancel plans, I can say, I think I'm going to have to take a rain check. Can we meet next week instead? Cold feet. Basically means becoming nervous, especially about a long-term commitment. It was his wedding day and he was getting cold feet. To make two ends meet. This means to just have enough money for all your needs. She was finding it difficult to make two ends meet, even with two jobs. A cup of tea. This is used to say that a person would do or prefer something. Golfing is my cup of tea. Even though both her parents are chefs, cooking isn't her cup of tea. In a nutshell. This means to summarize something complex very briefly. In a nutshell, the CEO's plan is to hire more employees. To weather the storm. This means to go through something difficult. The company was able to weather the storm of the economic downturn. On top of the world. This describes a state of extreme happiness. David was feeling on top of the world after winning the soccer tournament. That ship has sailed. This means it's too late to do something. Sarah felt her dreams of being an actress would not come true now. That ship has sailed, she told her friend. Come rain or shine. It just means no matter what happens. Come rain or shine, we have to finish the English lesson. Break the ice. This is to make people feel comfortable with those who are unfamiliar to them. On the first day of school, the teacher always does some activity to break the ice. I really don't like doing this, but it's a tradition in most schools in the US. Cross that bridge when we get to it. This is to deal with a problem when it happens. In other words, to delay dealing with a problem. I know this is your main concern, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. To walk a mile in one's shoes. It means to imagine yourself in someone else's situation. You shouldn't judge someone until you walk a mile in their shoes. To burn bridges. This means to do something to spoil relationships. Even though you are upset, you should speak to her gently. You wouldn't want to burn any bridges. Comparing apples to oranges. This is to compare two things that are completely different. An unfair or pointless comparison. I can't tell you if I enjoy painting or reading more. That's like comparing apples to oranges. At the drop of a hat. It means without any hesitation. Instantly. The students are always ready to volunteer at the drop of a hat. To cry over spoiled milk. It simply means to waste time regretting something that's already happened. If your friend failed a test weeks ago, you may say to them, don't cry over spoiled milk, just study harder next time. The tip of the iceberg. This refers to a visible part of a much bigger problem. These scandals are just the tip of the iceberg. I'm sure there are many more people who are involved. To beat around the bush. It's to avoid saying what you mean, usually because it's uncomfortable. Please don't beat around the bush. Tell me what you really think about my novel. And the last idiom that's commonly used by native speakers is to be on one's radar. This means to be aware of or thinking about something. Working in politics was never even on my radar. Next year's budget plan isn't on my radar. So far, we've covered 40 adjectives and 40 commonly used idioms. Now, the last category is phrasal verbs. A phrasal verb is just two or more words that come together and act as a completely new verb. The first one is to cut back. To reduce the amount or frequency of something. We need to cut back on eating out to save money. To drop out. This means to leave something without finishing it, especially a course of study, competition, or activity. Steve Jobs dropped out of college to start Apple. Check on. Check on is to look at someone or something to make sure there's nothing wrong. Will you go check on the children? I'll check on the pie and make sure it isn't burning. This next one has 3 different meanings. Check out. This means to pay a bill or leave a hotel, to find out if something is correct, or to find out more about something. I want to check out the space before we rent it. The police are checking out his story. Next is to dress up. It means to wear special or formal clothes. Are you going to dress up for your presentation? The next one also has 3 meanings. Get through. It can mean to complete a difficult task, to make contact with someone by phone, or to get someone to understand. It took a month, but I finally got through the English course. I've been trying to get through to the cable company, but they never answer. I keep explaining myself. Why can't I seem to get through to you? The next one is get ahead. It means to be successful or make progress. Studying English will help you to get ahead in your career. Again, a phrasal verb with multiple meanings. Get around. Get around can mean to travel from place to place, for news to spread, or to overcome a problem. I prefer to get around by bus, it's easier. It didn't take long for the news about her marriage to get around. She got around that issue by using her intelligence. Next is to get away with. It has two meanings. To not get caught or punished for doing something wrong, or to manage with less. The cops had no evidence, so he got away with the crime. Do you think we could get away with paying him less? The next one is go ahead. It's used to express permission to proceed with an action. They gave us the go-ahead to start building. Go on. It means to continue, or to talk about someone or something for a long time. The storm is expected to go on all morning. She went on and on about the baseball game. Next we have go over. Go over means to review or examine something carefully. Let's go over your script one more time. Let down. You might have heard this before. It means to disappoint someone by failing to meet their expectations. He let down his fans by losing the game. Let go of. It also has two meanings. To stop holding on to someone or something, or to stop thinking about something. Don't let go of my hand until we cross the road. You need to let go of the past or else you'll be unhappy. Look up to. It means to respect or admire someone or think highly of them. I have always looked up to my older brother for being kind. Look after. It means to take care of or be responsible for someone or something. I'll look after your plans while you're away. Put up with. This is to tolerate or accept something which you dislike. I put up with his snoring because I love him. Next we have run out of. It means to use up or finish the supply of something. I ran out of time and couldn't submit the assignment today. We ran out of toilet paper. Take after. It means to resemble a family member in appearance or character, meaning to say that they're similar. Charlie really takes after his father. Last but not least, think over. This is just to consider something carefully. Thanks for the offer. I'll need some time to think it over. We did it! We covered adjectives for emotions and to describe people, idioms that native speakers in the US use regularly, and common phrasal verbs. I hope you found this lesson helpful and are able to start using this vocabulary regularly. I find that it's easier to practice when I'm given a sentence and have to fill in the blank with the correct word. On Airlearn, this is exactly how you can practice. Try it out if you'd like, and please give this video a like and subscribe if you found it helpful. Keep practicing, and I'll see you next time on Airlearn English.